Hi guys, today I want to talk about Augmented 6th Chords, which are fun chords to spice up your progressions. And the goal of this video is just to introduce you to these types of chords and how to use them right away. But of course, like with most concepts in music theory, the more you learn about the technique, the more you'll be able to effectively use them in your music. Now, the first important thing to point out is that Augmented 6th chords have a pre-dominant function. This means that they usually resolve to a dominant chord, either the 4 chord or the 7 chord of a given scale. And this idea of resolving becomes more important with more complex chords. In those cases, you shouldn't just know about a chord and which notes it consists of. You should also know where this chord wants to go, where it wants to travel, or in other words, where it wants to resolve. We'll get that though. Let's first take a look at the basics. So an augmented 6th chord is called that way because it contains the interval of an augmented sixth between the lowest and the highest note of the chord. We can build these chords on any scale degree, but most commonly, and in the context of this lesson, they're built on the 6th scale degree. In most cases, we find augmented 6th chords in minor keys. So in order to simplify things a little bit, I want to show you some examples in C minor. And in C minor, the 6th scale degree is A flat. We can see that if we look at a progression here. And I'll just mute these guys for now, and I'll enter my notes here. I have my C minor scale, which consists of these notes, like that, there. And we can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is an A flat. So the augmented 6th chord in C minor is built on this A flat commonly. Now, the other notes in the chords, besides this A flat, depends on which type of augmented 6th chord we want to use. Now, there's 3 different options to choose here from. We can use the Italian, the French, and the German augmented 6th. And whether called that way remains a little bit of a mystery, so let's just get into how they sound. I will play 3 progressions, wherein the 3rd chord for all the progressions is the augmented 6th chords. And these progressions follow the rules of functional harmony, and another sort of slightly related important concept, which I have another video on and a full course on the ADSR channel and on the website respectively. Now, here's the first progression, which consists of a 1 chord, this guy, then we have a 6 chord, then we have our Italian augmented 6th chord, and we have a 5 chord or a 5/7 chord, and then we have a 1 chord again. And it sounds like this. So we can see that with this augmented 6th chord, we have the 1, which is an A flat, then we have a major 3rd, which is a C, and then we have an augmented 6th interval. So the F here would be a regular 6th interval, but now it's augmented, so it becomes an F sharp, which is the leading tone to this G here, and the G is the 5th of the scale. So this is what makes this chord 1 to resolve to this chord right here. So that's for the Italian 6th. Now let's take a look at the French 6th, which is very similar. We can see it right here. It's almost the same, except that it has a D here. So without that note, this would be an Italian 6th, but with this note, it's a French 6th. And this D happens to be the 5th of G, so that also has a strong relationship with this, which is 5 chord right here. So let's listen to this as well. So you can hear that it has a stronger pull there. It sounds a little bit more aggressive. And then finally we have the German augmented 6th chord, which rather than a D, it has an E flat here. And this one, it doesn't have to resolve to the dominant right away. It can resolve to the tonic, which it is doing right now. So you can see here that we have a 1 chord, right? We have our C minor chord. Then we have a 6th chord, which is an A flat chord. Then we have our augmented 6th chord. And then we have a tonic chord here, C, E flat, G again, which sounds perfectly fine. And we could resolve it to another tonic chord. So these are both the same chords. So in this case, this augmented 6th is resolving, as we say, to the tonic, but we could let it resolve to the dominant. And to do that, we only need to lower these notes. So now we have a G, a B, and a D, making a G major chord. And then here we go to the tonic, which also works. So these, of course, are the very basics of augmented 6th chords, but I hope it invites you to explore further. They're very fun chords to use, and they spice up a progression real nicely, mainly because we have that F sharp in all of them, and that F sharp, we don't find that note naturally in the C minor scale, and it just gives a sense of excitement. So I want to just already remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date about more videos like this. I'm going to have more videos on music theory concepts, and while you're doing that and while we fade out the video, I just want to play a little bit of a progression here that uses augmented 6th chords to build to a new section right here. And it's all very unmixed and it's all very very basic, but hopefully it gives you the idea. All right, I'll already say thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.